Hey, how's it going? I've had a chance to watch your video quite a few times. Everything looks pretty good. I got a couple of notes for you and a couple of things to try, and then one or two little small line changes that I think will be worth some time. Overall, driving looks pretty good, but we'll just take it corner by corner and go through a few things. So we'll watch this again. I'm going to make one gear change recommendation here. If you can, leave it in fourth gear through here. It might feel luggy, it might feel slow, but I think it's good, especially on your next lap when you come through there again. It's going to help you not over slow so much going through there. And it's going to make it easier and make the car less pitch sensitive to your throttle inputs. And ultimately, you'll be rolling more speed and you'll be able to get back to full throttle easier coming through hog pin here. And you'll probably surpass where you would be grabbing fourth gear again on the exit anyways, and when you eliminate a shift on the way out. So next time you're out at VIR, try rolling fourth gear through here and just give it a shot. I think it would be worth some time. Come down the front straight, everything into your braking zone, and in turn one looks really, really good. I'm not putting too much thought into the pressure on the bars. Just go on your feel. But just a couple things to note about braking. Make sure that you're always generating as much brake pressure on that initial hit as you can. It's okay to almost activate the ABS for a split second. Just if you get in the ABS, realize that the car is then taking longer to stop because it's grabbing and releasing brake pressure. But let's call ABS a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 on pressure. It's fine to go to that 10, then dial it back to a 9, then you're slowing the car as quickly as it can slow down. And then when you get to your turning point, just start easing back that pressure at whatever rate you're adding steering into the corner. All looks good. Line looks pretty good there. I will say, let's take a look at it again. So here we can already see our foot's covering the gas pedal. Try to avoid that. And there's always going to be three parts to every corner: brake, coast, and acceleration phases of the corner. Allow the coast phase to happen. In that coast phase, your one goal is to see how quickly you can get the car turned through a corner so then you can get a straighter exit. So don't be tempted to always be on the brake pedal or on the gas pedal, because even resting your foot on the gas pedal takes grip away. You're then making the front of the tires work harder to try to turn the car because you're sending weight to the rear of the car even by just resting your foot on the pedal. So especially in turn one here, allow that car to roll through the corner. Carry some speed in there, but then just focus on getting the car turned through the center so then you can open your hands faster on the exit and get a stronger drive off the corner. So we'll come in here. Usually it'd be firm on the brakes, firm on the brakes, firm on the brakes, trailing, 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 off the brake, coasting, coasting, coasting. Now I can really get back to the throttle. And you did a good job. You're just going to be able to get back to that throttle a little bit more aggressively, a little sooner. Ultimately, we want to go back to full throttle earlier instead of partial throttle sooner. Line here on the exit looks really good, setting up for NASCAR 3 pretty nicely. Come in nice and tight, straighten those hands. You can really ramp up that brake pressure here pretty early on, but just start an early turn in. So your lines look pretty good here. Yep, I like that. You're comfortable with it? Using all this runoff over here to the right is worth a bit of time. Really run up to your braking zone here, but really park it down this corner. Treat this corner like the beginning of the straightaway here at VIR. So whatever speed you carry off this corner, that's what's really important. So you can go hard on the brakes, but make sure that you're parking the car. Don't focus on rolling a whole lot of speed through here. Just get it turned. So by this point, Now we're accelerating out. Treat this like the beginning of the straightaway. This is the beginning of the straightaway, because it'll just, whatever momentum you build up off this corner carries in the next one. So we'll just come on in, do probably a slight breathe through here. We'll pick up the throttle right here on the exit. So, and it carries all the way down in turn 6. So treat this like the beginning of the straightaway is always my point I like to make on turn 4. Good. Come in a tick earlier again. We want to treat this all like straightaway. So the straighter we make it all, the faster we can go. Don't try to charge into any of these corners. Just focus on the exits, because it's all that matters, really. So I always like to aim for the curb on here, just to give you something to focus on. It's okay if those right side tires roll over it. It's usually pretty friendly, especially if you're on street or like track day slicks. That'll be fine. Good out of there. We'll talk about the S here a little bit. So one thing I can see here is maybe turning in a tick early for the S's. And that's because it's not like you're doing anything wrong. It's just you got to play with the geography of the S's a bit. And what is happening here on entry? We're pretty flat, right? But then as we get deeper and deeper into the corner, the road starts to drop away. We go into a bit of a valley, and then it climbs back up again. So we're going to have to drive the car knowing that the geography is changing. The grip level is going to be changing because of the geography. So here it's okay to turn in. Right now this is kind of our path. Kind of taking the straightest line through here, which in theory would be fine if it was all 2D and completely flat. It's not. So it's okay to take a slightly later turn in, because you got more grip here available now, so that you can get the car angled to the left, parallel to the grass over here. And then don't be afraid to be more aggressive turning back to the right as you're climbing uphill here, because then you're gaining grip. The key thing we want to be is we want this area to be a straight line, because that's where we lose grip. We go over that crest, we lose all our grip. So having the wheel straight and the car positioned properly is pretty important for going fast through the S's without having a bad time. Go a little farther in. See, we're just compromising that entry a little bit. You can run slightly wider here because you're going to be gaining grip as we go uphill. And the car can usually take it. You just want to avoid this situation. See, you set your trajectory. If you go too fast, much faster, your trajectory is off in the grass, where this wider line sends us, oh, wow, that was terrible. Sends us more in the direction we want to be heading and allows you to roll more speed through there safely. You got to where we needed to be, but if you go from 114 to 130, it might be a different story. It's going to be more important to really get the car positioned a little better through the S's. Lines through there look good. Good brush on the brake. Lines through there look good. One thing about Oak Tree is we want to kind of, the more comfortable and more speed you try to carry through there, don't come off that brake. You should be treating it like one braking zone, but you're going to have to ease back off the brake pressure as you add a little steering, and then you can reapply it a little bit. So once we come in, so braking marker right here around the 2.5, looks good. Angle it in, good, firm on the brake pressure. Should not be, use the brake here to help you keep a little weight on the nose. As you carry more speed in there, it keeps that front grip on the front end. You'll always be trailing back. You won't be adding more brake pressure. but it'll help you keep the car balanced and turn it through the center. Don't rush back to that throttle until you can just keep adding it. So we basically want to draw a straight line in, straight line out. That's good. Same thing here. I always hear people say it's 2 braking zones. It's 1 braking zone, but you just have to make a little adjustment as we go over the crest because we lose a lot of the grip. But then as soon as we go over the crest here, we can immediately reapply that brake pressure that we have to give up a little bit. So your braking points all here look pretty good. Coming in, easing back off that brake pressure, but then you kind of stayed the same. So don't be afraid if you're at your braking point where you want to be. Ramp up that brake pressure again. As anytime that wheel's straight, you have all the grip available to really slow the car down. So once you go over that crest, ramp it back up. And if you overslow, that's fine. Take the opportunity to learn something from it. And then you can always just ease off the brake earlier. Like the temptation of hopping off the brake and then trying to reapply it like light switching. Just ease back sooner and pick up your regular line. Looking good here. Make sure you're keeping your eyes all the way down the hill. This should be flat, if not really close to flat. I'm going to do a little bit of a big breathe there. I think you can probably get a little closer. Just keep it smooth. Keep all your inputs smooth, and that should help a lot. Good brush on the brake here on entry. Take a look at that. Good. Good. So again, 2 taps of the brake are probably necessary. 1 on entry and then 1 for the right-hander. And my last thing that I'll come back to is I would still try 4th gear. I think it'll help you roll more speed on entry. Car won't be so pitch sensitive. You won't have to worry about doing a downshift on the entry, and you won't have to worry about doing an upshift on the exit. And I think it'll ultimately be a good bit quicker. And that's going to complete the lap. I hope this was helpful. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And thank you very much.